Hi, guys, it's Priya,
And Chanel.
and this is PS. Let's talk about that. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Yeah.
We were sick Thanksgiving, so we did
Yeah.
a redo Thanksgiving on Friday, and so that was really nice to have you guys over and my
Yeah.
mom and sister, and it was sweet.
That's good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love cooking Thanksgiving foods.
Me too.
Like I love so like it was nice on Friday to kind of just feel normal.
Yeah.
I just felt like the week was like I don't know because we were all sick. It just felt like we were
Yeah.
all out of like whack. And so Friday it was just nice to like I don't know do something that just felt fun.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
That's good.
Yeah. How about yours?
Ours was good. We because you guys were originally part of the plan, we had bought so much food.
Oh, I'm so
No, 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 no.
sorry.
No, I'm not saying any of that to like me. I'm like, you should feel bad. No, but like we had planned for like a pretty big group and we still had like a pretty decent size, I would say, of people. Um but we cooked everything. It was good. David cooked a turkey for the first time. He did a good job.
Yeah. How was
Yeah,
that?
it was really good. He was really ambitious in my mind because he followed a Gordon Ramsay recipe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had looked it up like a week and a half before and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'll do this one." And I was like, "A Gordon Ramsay recipe? Like you're just going to go like all out to like a Michelin star style
Yeah.
turkey like right off the bat?" He's just like, "Yeah, like it looks fine."
Yeah.
It's like, "Okay." Like in my head I'm just like, "All right," because to me like it's the most intimidating thing.
Yeah.
Cooking like turkey,
Yeah.
and like I'm not even a big turkey fan to be
Yeah.
honest, and neither is he. But we both were like, "Let's just go for it this year. Let's like have one."
Yeah.
Um, but, like, cooking, like, whole,
Yeah.
like, birds,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the only
Yeah.
way I can really describe it,
Yeah.
is such an intimidating
Yeah.
thing in my mind. I've never done
Yeah.
it.
Wait, I thought you've done like a whole chicken before.
Mm-mm. No, that was David too.
Oh.
Yeah. He's the one, like, I feel like he gets anxious over, like, smaller things in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, this one time I asked him to cut a mango and he, like, sliced his whole hand off.
Kendall.
Yeah.
Kendall Jenner there.
Yeah, because we were like going to the airport and we had fruit, and I was like, we can't just like leave this fruit
Yeah.
here for like a week and a half, you know? So
Yeah.
I was like, can you just cut this mango really quick before we leave so we can like
Snack on
have
it.
it as a
Yeah.
snack and then just, clean up the thing when we get in the airport or whatever. And he like I think it just threw him off that I asked him to do that when we were about to leave, and so he like full on sliced his hand
Oh
open.
my
And
gosh.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like it's just over a mango? Like, what is this? But then I'm like, I won't cook a whole chicken. And he's like, I got that.
Yeah.
Easy. And I'm
That's so
like,
funny.
yeah. So it's like we're both like very different in that sense, I guess. Um, but yeah, like he did it. He did a good job. It was really good. Even my mom liked it. And I feel like
Oh.
she's very, very picky when it
Oh.
comes to like turkey in general.
Yeah.
Cause it has that like smell to it too
Yeah.
sometimes, like that gamey sort
Yeah.
of. But yeah, it was good. We had like a bunch of people over, lots of food. It was just fun.
Yeah. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Mine, probably green bean casserole.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like my mom makes it really well.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've had it other places and I can understand why people would hate it.
Yeah, yeah,
But, like, I've had good experiences because I think, like, my mom would always make it fresh.
yeah. Yeah.
And so that also changes things. Like, when you
Yeah.
use canned beans, they're very, like, soggy and
Yeah.
kind of weird. And she'll cut everything up and so I don't know. I've always had, like, good experiences with it,
Yeah.
and she puts, like, spices and stuff in it, so it's just always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
What
sounds
about you?
yummy. I love candied yams.
You did a great job making
Thank
them
you.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I knew you were gonna say it too.
Yeah.
As I was asking, I was like, "I already know."
It's so good. It's my favorite. It's like dessert,
Yeah,
but
and it's
yum.
funny because after you made it, I was like, "I need to, like, try to make this." It
It's
was
so
so good.
easy. Candied yams are so easy. I was surprised how easy they were,
Yeah,
but so good. Like so good.
I'm sure it's just sweet potato with,
Hmm.
like, some seasoning and then the marshmallow on top?
Yeah, basically. And like
Okay.
water. So I've never read this,
Oh.
but this is a trick I've learned because I've done it a couple years in a row and I feel like the first time I made them they were not good.
Mm.
Because like the yams take a long time to like bake,
Yes.
and then the longer they're in there, because you also have to bake them at like a high temperature because they're so thick.
Mhm.
So then they dry out. So even though like I
Oh,
do a lot of butter and like stuff like that, they dry out. But I found that if you like pour water in the pan,
that makes sense.
yeah, like it just makes them not dry out, and then it doesn't like change the flavor or anything.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so like that's the trick.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But
That's
yeah,
good to know.
brown sugar, cinnamon, a lot of butter. Like I used a whole tub of butter,
Ooh, okay.
and then water, and that's it. And then at the very like the last 5-10 minutes, you throw the marshmallows in.
Oh, that does sound really easy.
It's so
I'm
easy.
gonna have to make it.
Yeah.
It's not something I ever think about eating.
Yeah.
And then when I had it, I was like, "Oh, yeah, like
Yeah.
I should make this. This
Yeah.
is really yummy."
Their
Yeah.
candy yams are so good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like you're the first person I ever had them with like a long time ago.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Cuz
that.
yeah, because I feel like our family was just not like a savor they're savory sweet people, but
Yeah.
I guess like in some ways yes and in other ways no.
Yeah.
And so I also think because my mom both my parents grew up in India, but like I think my mom used to eat sweet potatoes a lot.
Mm.
And so she like hates them.
Oh, that
You know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just one of those like you have something so
Yeah.
often and especially if you're growing up in like a village,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
gonna eventually get sick of something. And
Yeah.
so when I was growing up, we never had sweet potatoes in our home
Yeah.
because it was just like she
Yeah.
hated them. So, and she's really the one who's gonna like cook a
Cook.
lot of the
Yeah.
meals, you know?
That makes
Even
sense.
my dad, like, he cooked a lot too, but he just, they never made any of that. And
Yeah.
so, like, the first time I had a sweet potato, I was like, what is this? Like, I
It's
was really like
confusing.
upset. Yeah. And then like afterwards, I was like, oh, okay, like I get it.
Yeah.
It's entirely different. And so then,
Yeah.
yeah, like I had candied yams with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is really yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get that. It's like if you don't have them in a good way or something, like
Yeah.
it's hard to be like, yeah, we're gonna cook that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Oh, so I have news for you.
Mommy.
Have you heard about about the guy who stripped off in It's a Small World?
No. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
What? Okay, explain.
So,
Explain this.
so there was a guy, I'm assuming he had to have been like in his 20s or something like that,
Oh,
but
so he was
he,
young.
yeah, he's young. Yeah,
I don't know why when you said that I just like pictured an older
like an old
person.
man.
Yeah, I don't know why.
No, it was a young kid. So he straight up just got off the boat while the ride was in operation. And there's like a picture that someone took on Instagram of his clothes on the floor. So he just straight up started stripping off and
Wait.
he was in his boxers for like a while. You know that part of Small World where it's like Aladdin and Jasmine, it's like the Taj Mahal is over
Yeah.
there, and then like Aladdin and Jasmine are on the top.
Yeah. It was
It was
there.
there. There's like video of him just like walking around the little animatronics and walking into how there's like that little it's like a lake or whatever. It's like a
Yeah.
body of water right in
Yeah.
front of the Taj Mahal. He's sitting in it.
Oh my gosh.
And you just hear like a cast member just like yelling at him like you need to get off, you need to get off, like stop touching everything, sir, you need to get down. And he just starts climbing like other areas of it. And then this one girl like in the video, she's like, "Oh my god, he's going to fall." So I don't know like if eventually he did fall or like what happened, but then eventually there's a photo of him coming outside of the ride
Oh
into
gosh.
like this area that is it's like off limits to us, right,
Mhm.
as like people. So I don't know how he accessed it. I honestly don't know like how he got out of the ride to like access that portion fully nude.
My
As
gosh.
far as I know, fully nude in that part.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It was wild and this literally happened yesterday.
Wait, so okay, hold on. Like when sometimes when they have to like escort someone off a ride,
Yes.
they like turn all the lights on
Yes.
and they like stop it.
Mhm.
So like all the lights are on and everyone is just watching this naked man.
Yes. Yeah,
That is
the ride came to a halt and I I feel so bad because people were stuck in that ride for at least like 30 minutes. So you just have the song like playing over and over again for like it's like It's a Small World, like the holiday version of it or whatever,
oh my.
just nonstop. Can you believe that for like a loop for 30 minutes while they're trying to like detain this person?
Oh
And
my
I think
goodness.
like Anaheim police came to like get him. I
That's
mean, they had to have,
so
right?
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one knows why. Like he did it? Did he say why?
I don't know. I think because the story was still, like, so new, like, I
Oh my
just found out
gosh.
about it yesterday, and I didn't get to look it up today to see if there was more information on it.
Oh my
But yeah,
goodness.
like, he was just like, "Can you believe that? Can you
I
believe
can't.
just going to the theme park?" And David and I tried to get a reservation yesterday too, which is the funny part. We both were like, "Oh, we're not doing anything today. Maybe we can see if Disney's open." And it wasn't, so we were like, "Whatever." And I was just like, "David, can you imagine if, like, we
You were
had
just
seen
sitting
that?"
there. He's in the boat with you, and all of a sudden he just
Yeah,
starts
right?
stripping. I can't imagine like bringing like having your kid sit next
Yeah.
to you, and then all of a sudden there's like a naked man, and your kid is probably like, "What are they doing? Why are
Yeah.
they doing that?" And
Yeah.
and like, I mean, it's hard for 30 minutes to like keep their face away, like
Yeah.
because I mean, like
Yeah.
you could probably
Yeah.
be like, "Okay, don't look," but for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Gosh,
And the ride was, like, back in operation by 3 o'clock. So I think it maybe happened around 1 o'clock or something like that, and then they were, like, back to operating like normal.
you said when he exited the ride and he was in like that area where he wasn't supposed to be. What area was that again?
It's essentially like if you can think of the Small World building,
Mm-hmm.
there's little, like, arches in the back,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there's, like, topiaries around it and stuff like that.
That's where
He
he
was
was.
just there,
Oh my
and
gosh.
as far as I can tell, he was completely naked, and the only reason I'm saying as far as I can tell is because people have censored, like,
Yeah, 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 that area.
his private parts. So I know that while he was in the ride, he had his boxers on because that's what the video shows.
Wow.
So I don't know if while he was walking outside, he
He
just
just
decided to take those off too, or yeah.
That's
But it's
wild.
it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Mhm.
Now that you say that, I'm like thinking, I remember years ago when we went to Disneyland and we were
Mhm.
near the Small World ride.
Mhm.
How, like in front of the ride, they have like it looks like kind of like towers that just look like the symbols that are on the Small World, like the face and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
And I think I don't know what's in the tower,
Mhm.
but it looks like there's some sort of door.
Mhm.
So I'm
Mhm.
assuming there's like electrical or something in there that people
Yeah.
get to. But you could smell like weed coming from there.
No
And
way.
I remember being like, that's so weird. I wonder if someone maybe that works here is like
It's like
hiding in there.
hotboxing in there.
Yeah. Um, so freaky things just happen by It's a Small World.
Yeah. Can you just imagine, like, of all the ride options too,
I
Small
know.
World?
I know.
That's, like, wild
Yeah.
to me. Is like someone's just like, "Yeah, like, I know that there's a whole bunch of kids on this ride right now, but"
And that's what's like so weird is like, okay, I don't know if we should talk about this now, but I recently heard, and I have to look into it, that like Disney has been, and I don't know if it's like Disney or just like some employees
Mhm.
have been caught with like sex trafficking allegations.
No
Yeah, like
way.
I remember a couple years ago, I think there was two employees that got arrested that were like linked to sex trafficking through Disneyland.
That's crazy. I've never heard that.
And so when you said that, it's like weird because I feel like people really do pervert things that like are
Yeah,
really meant for kids.
100%.
Um, and so when you said that, like that out of all the rides, that ride, and it just made me think of like that story headline that I read about like some of their
Mm,
employees getting um, arrested for sex trafficking in like through Disneyland, and that
wow.
just like freaked me out because it is
Yeah.
like there's so many kids,
Yeah.
and even not even just kids, but like so many teens that go there like
Yeah.
alone because it's
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's just scary to think like what else is going on kind of like behind closed doors or like
Yeah.
that people's intentions, like even if it's not like Disney,
Yeah.
but it's just like people know these things or like use these things to like learn. I
Mhm.
don't know, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
It's
It's
scary.
yeah. It is like a crazy world that we live in. I feel like I don't know, like I don't know. I think it's really easy for certain adults to, like you said, pervert
Yeah.
something that's just innocent and that's
Yeah.
just for kids and, for
Yeah.
families and to have fun with. But yeah, in this instance, I'm like, wow, just I don't know. I don't
That's
know if I honestly don't know if this person was under the influence. I
mm,
kind of feel like maybe they were
yeah.
to be doing all that
Yeah.
because I don't know.
I'll
I
look up
don't
the
know.
story, see if there's more.
Yeah, because there's no way that, like, you could be in your right mind, right? Like, even
Yeah.
if you weren't on something, you're clearly not in your right mind
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
decide, like, during a ride, like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, like,
Yeah.
come down and take my clothes off," and
I wonder if he was with anybody.
I don't know. Yeah,
Like,
can
I'm
you
so
imagine, like,
curious.
being the friend and being
And then
like,
like, whoa, 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 we didn't talk about that. What are you doing?
"What are you doing?"
Brian, what are you doing?
You're like, "Brian, this is scary. Why are you doing this right
Yeah, and then
now?"
like you just like walk away, like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I would 100%. If I knew someone who did that, I'd be like, "I've never met this person in my life.
I don't
We just
know.
happened to sit down next to each other in this ride." Like, I have no clue who that was.
That's wild.
Yeah, that was my, like, interesting news
Oh my
that I, like,
goodness.
had to share with you today.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna look at that part again. Like next time we go, we're going in January. And
Yeah,
when we were
that's
on the small ride and
right.
I see Jasmine and Aladdin, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
this is where
This is where that man started stripping.
Taj Mahal.
Yeah. That poor little Taj Mahal too. That's
Oh
probably it was probably so scared.
no.
All those little animatronics were probably so scared.
They're
They'd be
probably
like,
like,
"What?
out of all the
Yeah.
rides, why me?
Who is this man?"
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's my crazy news of the week.
that's wild.
Mhm. I knew I had to share it with you too. Like as soon as I was thinking
Yeah.
about it, I was like, "Oh my gosh. We're recording."
This is our opener.
Yeah, this You're welcome. I just knew I was like, I need to talk about this because I'm sure a lot of people have heard it, but I'm also
Yeah.
sure that there's some people who are like, "What? I didn't hear that this happened."
Yeah.
So I just thought it was like an interesting tidbit to
Yeah.
share. Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
I need more information. I need
I know, me
details
too.
from Brian. Brian, why?
Why'd you do it, man? What was the and, like, you know for a fact too, like, this person is I mean, there's
Oh my
actually a lot, like, if you think about it, this person is probably on a sex offenders list now.
Mm,
This person is
yeah.
probably I mean, is for sure most likely banned from the
Yeah.
theme park. So it's just one of those, like, that's so interesting that you chose
Yeah.
to make this decision. I do wonder what prompted it. Because it's also, like, that's, like, an unheard of level of confidence. You're like, "I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go
I'm s-
and do this," you know? So I'm like, "What were you on? Like, if you weren't on something, what's wrong with you?"
Yeah. Well, I'm looking this up. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so police did confirm that he was on drugs.
Okay.
26-year-old.
Young.
Yeah.
Well, not that young, but young.
They didn't release his name.
Ugh,
I know.
then what's the point?
I'm so curious.
We should all we all have the right to publicly shame this man if this man decided to publicly get on this ride and do something like that.
Oh my. Yeah, he's just naked, just swimming through. This is him exiting.
No
He just like
way.
swam.
Just full on naked,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. I wonder if they drained the water.
Wow. Oh,
I mean, I don't know.
interesting.
Is there like
I don't
he's naked in the water?
I mean, I'm sure they have like good cleaning
Oh,
practices.
I hope so.
I'm sure after that they especially would have been like, quick, pour all the chlorine we have in this.
Oh my.
Crazy,
They don't
right?
really say why.
I mean, it had to have been the drug. Maybe, maybe because like he
Yeah.
was on drugs and maybe he got scared of the ride. I don't know,
And just like,
but I don't know like why that would like possess him to start stripping. But I don't know. Maybe he just panicked because he was like, I'm in a close proximity area and these kids
yeah.
won't stop singing at me.
But then, like, why would you get on that ride?
Yeah.
But do you know what? That ride is the best ride when you're exhausted.
Oh my gosh, so good because it's so long and you just get to sit and it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like earlier in the year when I had taken Noah, I think we went in like May or April. I
Mhm.
can't remember, but it was hot.
Mhm.
And I remember I didn't bring a stroller with me because I was like, oh, it's just me and her. Like, we'll walk. And she wanted to be carried.
Yeah.
And I remember just carrying her through the park all day. And all I wanted to do
Oh.
was like sit down. And so I was like,
Yeah.
let's go on Small World.
Mhm.
We walked all the way to Small World. I bought a bag of hot Cheetos from like, like the vendor or
Yeah.
whatever. And I just couldn't wait to sit down on the ride
Mhm.
and just open my bag of hot Cheetos and like sit in air
Just eat for like
conditioning.
20
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
It was like the best.
Have you heard of that thing? I don't know if it's called tush.
No.
It's like a fanny pack.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I saw a review from someone that I follow on Instagram that like I know this person.
Yeah.
It's not like an influencer
Yeah.
review, but they said it was amazing.
So, okay, so I have seen them.
Yeah.
I've never tried one or bought one. I think my hesitation was that, like, if I'm gonna carry you on something, I want to be hands free.
I
And
think you can be hands-free with it.
from my understanding, like you have to still hold them. Like I think what it does is it takes the support off, like the weight off your back.
Yeah.
So like in that sense, it's probably great because then it's like at the end of the day, you're not feeling like your back is
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, at least, is you have to hold the like so they don't just plop over because it's
Oh,
just a seat on the bottom. There's no like strap.
interesting.
But then I recently heard or saw, I can't remember. I think someone told me actually that like there's an attachment now that you could purchase.
Oh, for, like, added security to, like, just
Yeah,
have it as a
so
strap
maybe you
there?
don't have to hold
Yeah.
them. Um, so I'd be willing to try it,
Yeah,
honestly.
because I thought of you when I saw it.
Yeah.
Because this person was like this person said, "If you've been thinking about it, stop, just get it," or something
Oh,
like that, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then you're right now as
maybe I
you're
should
mentioning your
try it.
story, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that might be a good thing to have
Yeah.
just in case." Like,
Yeah, because we're
we
going
try
back
to
in
take her another
January.
trip, and she's like, "Carry me."
Yeah. That's the one thing that I'm like, "Ugh, Disneyland and strollers."
Yeah.
Because when we went last Christmas, we
Mhm.
brought our stroller
Mhm.
and nobody wanted to sit in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's so bulky, especially because
Yeah.
it's like a two, we brought the two seats.
Yeah.
And my stroller is not the best one for like the two seaters. The kids are squished, so like they hate sitting on it together.
Mm.
Um, so that's why that was December, and then like April I went again,
Mhm.
and so I didn't bring anything because I was like
Yeah.
last time she just wanted to walk, and then she wanted the stroller. So this year I'm like I don't know what to bring.
Are you taking both girls this year or just
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna go in January instead of Christmas because they're doing
Yeah.
that deal in January for
Yeah.
kids. Um, but I don't know like yeah what to bring because the double stroller is it's just so bulky.
Mhm.
And like my biggest pet peeve is like you park in the Disneyland thing, this the parking lot, you open your stroller, you get both kids in, you walk the thing to get to the tram, you get to the tram, then you have to take it apart.
Mhm.
And then you get off the tram, you have to put
Yeah.
it back together.
Yeah.
And then you get
And you're
like
that annoying couple that everyone's, like, waiting for because 'cause
yes.
they're just like,
Yeah, and it's like
"Hurry up."
so
Yeah.
frustrating. And the whole point of bringing the stroller is so you could bring bags and food and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
absolutely.
But then when you have to put the stroller down, you have to take all the bags out. So you're like
Yeah.
carrying a million bags. You're trying to fit onto the tram.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a whole ordeal that really stresses me out.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
And I wish they would just let you put your stroller on the tram, like opened. Like just let me
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
make like you know how they have the handicap section?
Mhm.
They should have a stroller section.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
true.
moms just all wait in one. If you don't want to like take it all apart, you wait in
Yeah.
this line
Yeah.
and you just get put on the stroller section of the tram.
Yeah.
I don't know. It really Disney honestly get on that.
Do you know anything about getting on, like, a bus with a stroller? Can you leave it
I don't know. I've never tried.
because I know that, one of the parking lots is like, you take a
Oh,
bus
yeah, yeah,
instead of, like, the tram,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
and
don't
so I
know.
wonder if that could make it easier?
Yeah, is that the back one where you like park right next to downtown Disney, and then from downtown Disney?
No, although there is that lot too, now that you mention it, but this is like a Toy Story lot, so it's a little bit further down.
Oh,
Um, but like on that one, it straight up just takes the bus to and
oh,
from.
maybe I'm gonna
So I
Google it.
wonder if
Yeah,
like that might be easier because
yeah,
if you can leave it undone,
yeah.
or I wonder if they rent strollers for the day.
They do rent strollers. The ones I saw online that did like Disney rents, they are like plastic,
Mm,
probably so it's easier to clean.
yeah,
But so it's not like something where you can like recline in or fall asleep in, and
gotcha.
it's just like a solid. It's like a plastic chair but on wheels.
Oh,
And they don't
gotcha.
have an under like there's no undercarriage to put things.
You
So
know
you'd
what
have to still carry your bag.
I see. You know what I've seen is people who take wagons.
No, Disney won't let wagons in.
I've seen that though.
On their website it says that they prohibit wagons. They have very
Oh,
strict guidelines on their strollers.
I
And
wonder if maybe that's a more recent thing. If like people have been doing,
yeah.
because I swear I've seen kids like in a wagon.
Yeah. I maybe it's more of a recent thing, but I know I googled it last year and then I googled it again this year and on their website it says that they prohibit wagons and for like double strollers, they have a very specific size requirement. And I've only found
Oh.
two double strollers that meet their requirements. I have one of them, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so bulky, and just the kids hate it. And I was tempted to buy the other one,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like I want to spend $300
Yeah.
for like a
Just
1 day
yeah.
thing that you're gonna use maybe for the next 2 to 3 years,
Yeah,
and
for
then they don't
sure.
want to sit in the stroller anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just very annoying. The whole the whole process. I'm just like,
Yeah.
just walk then.
You're like, no, today we're learning
How to walk.
how to walk.
Yeah. Um,
That's funny.
but I don't know. Maybe I'll just bring the stroller with one seat and then the tushy thing.
Yeah. That's why
And
when you
then
were mentioning it right
yeah,
now, I was like, oh, let me ask about that because
I'm gonna try it
yeah,
and
try
see.
it, see if it works.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I went on. That was a very long rant
No,
about.
you're
We
good.
can take that out. It's probably very boring for people to
No,
listen
no.
to. um, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
so that's crazy, Brian. Just named him Brian. I'm sorry if you're named Brian.
I
There's
know.
no
To any
shade to
Brians out there
Brian's.
who are like, hey, we don't do stuff like that.
That's just the first name that popped up.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
this week we're gonna talk about Christmas traditions,
Yeah.
and so I'm excited.
Yeah. Christmas traditions, general traditions. I think
Yeah,
like even holiday, like there's a Thanksgiving
yeah,
one that you do or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Do
Do
you have like, were you a big tradition person or are you one now? Like, how does it work for you?
I am. I feel like the Middle Eastern culture is very traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything we do is tradition, and
Mm-hmm.
we have no clue why. Like we're just like we could do the same thing every year, and I'd be like, why do we
It's
do this?
important, but you don't really know what the meaning of it is.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And maybe I mean I'm sure there's a lot of Middle Easterns that know things.
Yeah.
Just so oh
Like I'm just not one of them.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I feel like we do a lot of things just based off tradition.
Mm-hmm.
If even if there's no rhyme or reason. And
Mm.
so I did grow up. I like that, and I think I do hold that close to my heart. I'm like, we're doing this
Aw.
because it's tradition.
They're like, why though? You're like, that's none of your
That's a
business. You
dumb
just do it.
question. um, so I do love traditions, and then
Mm-hmm.
now that we have kids, like I'm just trying to create traditions, like new traditions,
Yeah.
um, that like we enjoy and that that they'll do when they're hopefully that they'll carry on and do when they're older.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
love that.
yeah. How about you?
So kind of the same as you. I feel like Indian culture does. I mean, yeah, like I
Yeah,
think our cultures are just intertwined with so many
tradition. Yeah,
traditions. Like
yeah,
that's a very big deal and it's an important thing.
yeah.
Um, and I think it's funny because after our last conversation, our last episode, I had mentioned something about Thanksgiving and I was
Hmm.
thinking about it afterwards. I was like, "Oh, I should have explained that more." It just makes me
Yes.
sound like a little evil, I think. Um, but I think it's because I was in my head thinking of all the traditions that we've had.
Yeah.
Um, so to backtrack a little bit, and in our last episode, I had mentioned that Thanksgiving was one of my favorites because it didn't feel as like Christian, and I
Hmm.
didn't mean it in the sense of like I'm really not trying to put like an unholy view on it. I 100% um I think view Thanksgiving in the scope of Christianity and just having a day where you can be grateful. But my experiences during the holidays were that uh, like there's always like a big program
Hmm.
for every holiday that comes and especially Christmas. So Christmas Day is always this big like we go to church, everyone gets dressed to the nines, which those things are great. I had no problem with any of that. And I love that. Like you got to go to church that day and you would see like so many different family members, so many different friends. You got to see like everyone's new outfits and stuff. Like there's this big like I think devotion to wanting to like look your best and be your best and feel your best that day. And so, people do that and then there's like a church program and lots of songs and then, special songs and then someone preaches and then after that there would be like a dismissal and there'd be like a hall that we would either go to or like in the churches hall, I guess,
Hmm.
there'd be like huge food basically, like just a
Yeah.
huge buffet, like all these traditional foods, like people would and like they would order certain dishes and then like people would literally make some dishes for like 300-400 people. Can you
Wow.
imagine? Like
Yeah.
so there's like this big emphasis on like making food and like I don't know, like food is just so heavy, I think, for every culture with like
Yeah.
different traditions, right?
Yeah.
If you're on YouTube, my cat just came up. Um, but we would so we would do that, and then after that, like if it was happening during it used to be like it could happen sometimes at night or it could happen in the afternoon, like different, times or whatever. And so if it was happening a little bit later, we would probably call it a night there, but if it was happening in the afternoon, then like you pick someone's house to
Mhm.
like go to, right? Like
Yeah.
so even though there's like this big conglomerate of groups, like everyone has their own subgroup, right?
Right.
So like we would have our own subgroup that would be like, okay, like whose house are we going to? And then like you have chai and you have treats and you like hang out and it's just like it was just always really fun and there was
Yeah.
like always a really great atmosphere behind it, but I think I just carry like personal traumas because I have a lot of fond memories for those particular things.
Yeah.
I think where I struggle is when I was saying what the program usually entails, I said like special songs and like um for anyone who maybe listens and doesn't necessarily know too much about me, I do sing. I've been singing since I was like a very little girl. And the Indian community is probably a community that really helped form my singing years, I guess. Um, but with that is like a lot of, I think, like pent up emotion on my end. And I think that part of it is just because, like, I just experienced a lot of judgment. Like, I
Mm.
experienced a lot of, like, there were different forms of judgment that I experienced. So, like, one was like my body. I feel
Mm.
like my body was just something that everyone felt like they had the right to comment on.
Mm.
Um, and so that's hard
Yeah.
as a teen, as someone growing in their teens and 20s. Like, it's really hard to um, every year be put up on a stage and to
Yeah.
be, just
Yeah.
judged in that way. But also I think that me being a vocalist, like I enjoy singing. I do have like a passion and a love for it, but I'm not necessarily like a center stage personality. That's
Mhm.
I'm not really like a huge like I'm not like a theater person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I think that like there are some personalities like when you have vocalists, like there are some who might be a little on the quieter side, which I think I am, and there's others who are more like let's go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily where I'm at, but I think that my dad was always really eager to put me up on like a stage.
Yeah.
And so I think that some people it now I can look back on it and be like that's really inappropriate and that's really rude because I would have adults who would make like snide comments towards
Mhm.
me about oh, I just like love being up there. I just like love like
Mm.
having a special song every year to the point where like I would get so anxious
Yeah.
and I would get like so embarrassed every year of like you
Mm.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
being asked to sing a song or like I started getting really, I think, just way too in my own head about it because there was just so much happening. It's like I felt like I was being judged as a person. I felt like I was being judged as a vocalist. I felt like people had in their heads like this idea that I was just like I only came to sing
Yeah.
and I only like you know what I mean? Like that was my thing. Like I was just like this prideful kid and I feel like in my head like there's there was very little room to have grace for me as a growing child to just think like oh maybe she's just a kid who wants to like give a song or maybe she
Yeah.
doesn't and her parents are saying that you have to or you know what I mean like I
Yeah.
think that people really took it out on me as though I was just as much of an adult
Yeah.
and so now I can look back at those things and say um little Priya, like you really like you did whatever you had to do, but it wasn't right how people treated you, and it's fine for you to have been hurt by that. And I'm sorry you had to navigate all of that with anxiety because I also didn't feel comfortable with like talking to my parents and saying like it just became a thing, particularly with my dad, unfortunately, without trying to like be rude about it or without trying to like um bash him. But
Yeah.
I think the way that culture works sometimes is like when you have a kid that's good at something, you really try to milk it for all it's worth, you know? And so whenever we would have discussions and I would say something to the effect of like I don't want to sing or I don't want to do this. I don't want to like go up there this year, blah blah blah. It became so much less about like let's dig into that and talk about it and see why my kid doesn't want to do this, and it just became like, oh, so like you're too good for that, or like,
Mm.
oh, you like you're not Christian now. Like
I'm
it just
so
became like an
sorry.
entirely different discussion. um, and so I think I just carry like a lot of scarring still from all of
Yeah.
that. And so Christmas now I think can feel a lot more like fun and lighthearted because I'm not involved in that anymore. And I don't come at it with any bitterness either. Like I think I still hold resentment for people who made me feel a certain way, yes. But like I don't necessarily put blame on everyone because there were some people who were obviously so kind
Yeah.
every year. You know what I mean? Who like if I sang a song, like I would have people who would come to me and who'd be like, "I get so excited to hear you," or
Mm.
you know what I mean. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of kindness there too. But obviously, when you're a teen, like
Yeah.
you hold on to the things that really like scarred you,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so, um, I feel like I still carry a lot of that weight around me, and so when I was saying that I liked Thanksgiving so much more because it didn't feel as Christian, it wasn't because I was thinking like,
Right.
oh, like it's, like I don't have to think about Christ in this. I think it really came with this backing of like, it just wasn't stressful. Like I got to
Yeah.
go to someone's house. I didn't have to dress up super fancy.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about someone like scrutinizing my body necessarily. Um and I would still sing here and there for like Thanksgiving functions too, but it just didn't feel like as much pressure because it was a subgroup versus like this
Yeah.
huge group. And there were people even within that subgroup that I would say like it's weird now that I can think about it like an adult having like a, a vindictiveness against a child, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just it never felt as serious or as like
Yeah.
all stakes, are involved in this. It felt more like okay, like I can just relax this day and like I'm hanging out with my friends and I'm
Yeah.
just like getting to like eat good food, but I'm getting to literally I think really the mindset behind it at that time was like I'm just so excited to hang out with like my
Yeah.
cousins and not really have to like perform, but just
Yeah.
like have like an area where I can say what I'm grateful for. And what I was grateful for at that time was literally just like being with those people
Yeah.
and just like hanging out and having fun. Cause I think like all of us as kids felt the burden of like constantly being compared or constantly, having to put on some kind of a show. I think all of us felt that burden. And I think
Yeah.
that was probably one holiday where all of us knew like, okay, this one isn't so stressful. We just get to
Yeah.
like hang out and we just get to like have fun and like laugh in someone's room for like hours and hours until all of our parents say, okay, it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why like on Christmas, like I can look at certain pieces of it and be like, it was great. And I love those memories. Like I do love like the after part, right? Of like we all got to go to someone's home and like we would have a change of clothes or like you know what I mean? Whatever,
Yeah.
like all those pieces, I'm like, those were great because I think that's like the point of just like having family together and just
Yeah.
being able to enjoy the beauty of what God has provided or just like, like the beauty of that day, um, without like just all the pressure,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm glad I got to talk about that because I really was thinking about it for such a long time of like, oh, like I wish I expanded on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um,
But man, I'm sorry,
yeah,
Priya.
that's okay. Thank you.
It's not okay. But I know
True.
like you've grown. I'm not like, oh,
Yeah.
but that does suck.
Yeah.
Like little Priya had a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about it a lot nowadays and I'm just like, wow, that was like
Yeah.
Like you don't realize, I think, um, how heavy your heart is from certain things until you get like older.
Yeah.
And like on my end, I'm okay now. Like I get to hang out and I get to do great things and I get to do fun things. But yeah, like thinking about it, I can get like emotional because I'm like, wow, like I didn't realize at that time either like how painful those things
Yeah.
felt. And I think it's scary sometimes to talk about it because A, you don't want to necessarily be disrespectful of people. Um, Whether they deserve that or not is an entirely different story, but like you just don't necessarily like I don't necessarily want to come off just like angry or super bitter or vindictive about any of it.
Yeah.
Um but also it's just one of those, I don't know, like I think I get scared bringing up certain topics or certain things that I felt because I'm scared that like on someone else's end, they would be like, "Oh no, like I never meant it like that."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, even if you didn't mean it like that, like me as a kid, my emotion was valid then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely always like really rocky
Yeah.
territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry. It's okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what are your fun traditions? All that drama to say. All that drama, I guess, to say, like, I'm looking forward to creating good traditions now, but I'm
Yeah.
still trying to kind of find my tribe and my family because I miss that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you so walk me through your guys' like Christmas
Now,
currently? Yeah.
okay. Um, Before it was always like a Christmas Eve thing, kind of
Mhm.
going back to like family, like it was always a Christmas Eve thing, and now it's not. So I kind of I want to now we do church, like
Mhm.
we go to the candlelight service.
Yeah.
But I really want to do like a Christmas Eve dinner this
That'd
year.
be so fun.
Yeah, and I actually want to do invite you guys, which is funny.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Um, but like I want to do like a just a really nice like Christmas Eve
Yeah.
dinner and just like hang out together and just like
Yeah.
enjoy, have fun. Like I, I really do mean that. Like I think like ethnic families they just like hang out all night. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like other families like from what I know from my experience of other people, I feel like there's just some families that don't do that and they kind of like cap it at like a certain time and
Yeah.
everyone has to like leave, you
Yeah.
know? Which is like that's fine, that's your boundary and that's great. But
Yeah.
like I come from that background of like people hung out and stayed for like until 2, 3 in the
Yeah.
morning, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To the
Yeah.
point where like we as kids would be like, "Can you please take
Yeah.
us home? Like we need to
We're
go to
tired.
sleep." Like,
Yeah.
you know? Or like people would just like fall asleep on each other's beds or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and I genuinely do miss that. Like
Yeah.
I think those are the pieces that I'm like, "Oh, like I crave that." Like I crave having someone to be like, "Oh yeah, like just hang out, just stay. It's fine,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um which I feel like you and I are like similar in that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I do want to do that. I feel like David's family is not like that. They're like early to bed people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's I think always been kind of like a point of like awkwardness where I'm like, who do I do this with then?
Yeah.
Like, but like, yeah, I want to do a Christmas Eve thing, and then for the day, we want to go like on a tiny hike in the morning.
Oh.
Not like I'm not like a hiker. We're not hiking people. So when I say like a hike, I mean just like a nice walk in an area that has like a body of water somewhere. You
Ooh.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's this tiny little, I guess trail is a
Yeah.
better way to say it. There's a tiny trail in the Porter Ranch area and it
Mhm.
has like a tiny little river
Oh,
when you walk down.
cute.
Yeah. And so I want to go with my dogs because
Oh.
I'm like I want them to celebrate Christmas too.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cute.
So that's like our idea for the morning. And then I'm trying to find like little activities, like little games and things that we can maybe have, like a puzzle or something.
That's
And
so
like,
cute.
yeah, and I want to like, this is my plan, I guess I'm saying, and I want to make it into tradition, but I want to do like spice cider
Ooh,
and then like a nice dinner
that sounds
and
so
maybe like
sweet.
go and see lights somewhere.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's the goal.
I really like that.
Yeah. So I want to like I feel like it would be really fun to like bring Christmas Eve into Christmas,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah. Because I loved doing like midnight
Yeah.
gifts and stuff. I always thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never did we never did like Christmas Eve. We
Mhm.
did Christmas. Like everything was on Christmas. So like we would wake up, do like Christmas with like our parents,
Mhm.
and then people would start coming over around like lunchtime, and
Mhm.
we'd have like lunch, and then it would turn into like dinner.
Mhm.
And then we would do gifts all together, like with all my cousins, like around dinner time.
Oh, nice.
And so they like Christmas Day was typically like when we did all of that stuff.
Mhm.
Um and I like I don't know, I really do. I'm not like I really like the idea of like Christmas Eve.
Mhm.
We've just never done anything. Like now we do the Christmas Eve candlelight service.
Yeah.
Um but Sean, his job always, because he works at a hospital, he typically always works either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And so he typically always works Christmas Eve. So like even when I've done candlelight services, like I feel like I don't even know if he's ever made it to one.
Yeah.
Um, but this year he is off Christmas Eve and he works Christmas
Oh,
Day.
okay.
So this year we are gonna celebrate like our Christmas on Christmas Eve,
Nice.
and then maybe like end it at church with the candlelight service.
Oh, nice.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. But
Well, if you want to come over after.
I do. I want to come over to your Christmas
Yeah.
Eve dinner.
Yeah, like
I'll
I don't know,
I'll
like
ditch the
yeah. Well, no, like in my mind, I feel like it would be nice to go to church
and then
and do
come
it and then come
after.
home and like just
Yeah,
have like a nice like I'm gonna have it
meal.
like ready to go
Oh,
basically.
yeah.
And then yeah, just like do a meal together.
I love that idea. What
Play
can I
like Charlie
bring?
Brown Christmas in the
Yeah,
background. I don't know.
that's so cute.
But yeah, like yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's sweet. I like this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like traditions on Christmas Day. I don't feel like I have a ton, but I just feel like in the season, okay, I'm really dorky. But like after Thanksgiving, I typically will come up with like kind of like an advent calendar
Oh
for
yeah.
like the month, and I'll always buy one. And then I'll like make a list, a to-do list of like all the things I want to make sure I do this Christmas season.
Mhm.
So like
I love that.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's much like
I
such a
don't think
dork.
that's
Okay.
dorky. I think that's really sweet. I think
Oh,
you're a very intentional person.
yeah,
That's
thank
not
you.
dorky at
Thank
all.
you.
Yeah.
Um
You do it.
so- we should do the lights together this year.
I would love to do that.
So we do
Yeah.
like I'll get the like us matching family pajamas, and then we'll
Mhm.
drive to, it's actually not far from you guys. It's in Santa Clarita.
Oh.
Why am I forgetting the name of the little like neighborhood? There's like a little neighborhood in Santa Clarita that does
Mhm.
like the cutest light setup.
Oh, how nice.
And people come like all over.
Is
Like
it like a candy cane lane type of? Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yeah,
Okay.
but like way better because I feel like Candy Cane
It's
Lane.
not that great
No,
anymore.
it's not like
Yeah.
not that many houses participate, and sometimes it's
Yeah.
just like they just strung lights,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, um,
You're like, "Where's the theater? Where's the
yeah,
atmosphere?"
I want matching
Yeah.
themes. The one in
Where's the naked
yeah.
guys?
I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's so cute. The one in Santa Clarita, all the houses, like everyone kind of does their own thing, but there's a
Mhm.
story that goes, because it's kind of like a
Oh,
cul-de-sac,
yeah.
and
That is
so
so
yeah, it's
cute.
so cute. So like each house has like a number. It's like I think it's like the 12 days of Christmas. So
I
at
love
each
that.
house you do like you read like a story or whatever, and you could just walk it. You could walk it as many times as you want. It's so
I
cute.
love that.
And so every year we've done that like maybe the past like 5 years.
Oh, how
And
nice.
so we should
Oh,
do that
that's really
together this
sweet.
year.
I love that. It's like
Yeah.
a set tradition for you
Yeah,
guys.
and we'll
That's
always
awesome.
bring donuts or something. Like we'll
Oh,
either go to Krispy Kreme or like uh Starbucks and get like, I think last year we
oh.
did hot cocoa and cake pops, and the year
Mhm.
before we did like Krispy Kreme donuts.
Okay.
But yeah, so like that's something that I always put on like my advent calendar, that I'm like, okay, like
Oh.
on this day we're doing this.
Yeah.
Ice skating.
Mhm.
We've done ice skating almost every year. Um
Is ice skating hard?
like I'm not good at it.
It looks so intimidating to me. Like
I'm
I've
not
seen
good at
it.
it.
I always want to try it. It looks like such a vibe, but I'm so scared I'm gonna fall
You will.
and just eat it. Like
But it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Like it's worth the fall.
Mhm.
And it's not like we're going fast or anything.
Yeah.
Like going pre-kids was a lot easier
Yeah.
because you're just worried about yourself.
Yeah.
And then I remember last year I took Noelle, and Rory was just a couple months old, and so I think Sean stayed home with her while I took Noelle,
Mhm.
and that was very hard. Um, because like Noelle, like like she wanted me to hold her hands,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't even know how to stand. Like you want me to
You both are just scared?
we're just both falling everywhere. And so, but it was fun. But yeah, I don't know. It is fun, but you do fall. Like you eat it and you look ridiculous.
Aw.
And I think prior to like the kids, it was a little bit easier. Like once you make a round or two, you're like, okay, I kind
Yeah.
of have my bearings.
Yeah.
And then you could do like one round successfully. Then you're like, okay, I'm ending on a good note. Like,
Like, I'm ending on this high right
yeah.
now.
Um, but yeah, so that's something to what else do I like? But oh, so some things that like we're trying, like this year is the first year I'm trying to do Disney on Ice.
How fun.
Um,
I always wanted to see it.
yeah,
It looks cute.
it looks really cute.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, are we finally at the age where like, we have kids and like we could go?
Yeah.
And then something else that like I was just looking into, I was trying to find my phone. Oh, it's right here. Is the Polar Express
Oh, how
train ride.
cool.
So I was just looking at tickets last night to like get for us. And so they do, have you seen like the movie or read the book or whatever?
Like I've seen enough to
Yeah, yeah.
know, but yeah.
So they do like I think like a reenactment and they do like singing and they pass out hot chocolate.
That's cool.
And you're like take a train ride to see Santa.
That's very cool.
And so I really want to do that this year and
Yeah.
hopefully like the girls like it and that could be something that we do again each
Yeah.
year. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me check my notes. I feel like I wrote like random things.
Yeah, I was telling David I really want to find like a Christmas festival somewhere to
Yeah.
just go to for a day. Like I think that
Yeah.
would be really nice to
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know.
And tree lightings. I'm a sucker for
Yeah,
tree
me
lighting.
too.
And I was so sad I missed I think I missed Shepherd's tree lighting this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. But they to be fair, like they did it pretty
They did it early
early.
this year, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I saw a post
I
about it
think
and it
they
was
did it even
over.
like before Thanksgiving.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like if I'm not mistaken, I honestly think they did it even before then.
Okay. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love a tree lighting.
Yeah, me too.
I low key wanted to look up when I was going to Biola,
Mhm.
they did a tree lighting and when I was a student and I loved it. And every year I'm like, is it can I crash their tree
Oh,
lighting or
yeah,
do you have to
for
be a
sure.
student?
No, I highly doubt that.
But it was so
'Cause
cute.
can't you just, like, walk around campuses? Like,
Yeah.
even if you're not a student, you can just walk through the campus, so if you just happen to be there.
Yeah, I guess. I should look it up to see if they've
Yeah.
already done it or if they're gonna do it. But I just remember loving their tree lighting ceremony. It was so pretty.
Oh, yeah.
I just like the carols, the candles,
Yeah,
cookies.
I know.
I love it.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. I just wanna create my own little commune. That sounds really
Yeah.
creepy, but
I
it's
get
true.
what you mean.
Yeah.
Like a
Like,
little
where you create,
neighborhood.
like, I don't know, like, your own little like, a Gilmore Girls style,
Yeah.
like, your own small town that
Yeah.
you're a part of, like, these
Yeah.
fun traditions,
Yeah.
and yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. That'd be cute. I know when in Gilmore Girls, like they always talk about like town hall
Yeah.
meetings.
Yeah.
And so when I started doing like town hall meetings,
Yeah.
I got so excited.
You wanted your
I
coffee?
wanted my coffee and popcorn. I wanted to like
Yeah.
harass whoever's
Yeah.
up there
Whoever's
talking.
talking. Just
Um,
with, like, really quick dialogue.
yeah.
Just a bunch of nonsensical statements
Yeah.
just to make them upset. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Um, but yeah. Yeah, our town hall meetings aren't as fun, I will
No, they
say.
are never as fun.
Yeah.
But that's yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, one is like a TV show. The
Yeah.
other is real
I
life,
guess.
so
It's a too much to ask.
it's too much just for entertainment
Um,
during budget meetings.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think. The other thing too is like food. One like really traditional meal that Arabs always make around Christmas is mensef.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm gonna attempt to make it this year.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
very intimidating. You have to like prepare. I feel like days in advance. Like it's
Yeah.
one of those things where you have to get prep things days in
What
advance.
is it?
It's it's rice and
Mm-hmm.
over it is this mensef sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a yogurty sauce.
Okay.
and it has like lamb in it.
Mhm.
And so I've never cooked lamb before. Like lamb is something that really intimidates me to cook.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if this year I'll do lamb or I might do
Mhm.
chicken this year
Okay.
because making like the sauce itself is like also
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
intimidating for me.
Yeah.
And that's the part that like you have to soak. I don't know what they're called in English. They're like these balls that you have to like soak in water.
What is it in your language?
Jamid.
Oh, okay.
It's like milk based or yogurt based,
Mhm.
and you soak them. I think to like soften them to like get
Mhm.
it to like become
Mhm.
liquidy.
Mhm.
But and you can only like get them like from Jordan. Um,
Oh, how
and
interesting.
so
You've got this.
well, we'll
It's
see.
gonna be great. I believe in
Um,
you.
so I'm gonna attempt this year
Yeah.
something, and then if I can get the sauce down, maybe next year I'll attempt it with lamb.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like this year, I just want to like get the sauce right.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Ours is a rice dish too.
yeah.
It's called pulao.
Mm,
Yeah, and it's like it's with I think usually lamb. That's
yeah.
actually funny. Yeah, but we do goat meat
Mm.
instead.
I don't know if I've ever tried goat meat.
Did you have the meat at my mom's birthday? That was goat meat.
Oh, okay, then I did.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's a little less gamey,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, because you know how lamb
Yeah,
can
it can be
sometimes,
gamey.
like,
Yeah.
be, like, super gamey
Yeah.
sometimes or just fine other
Yeah.
times? I feel like goat has a better consistency of not
Mm.
doing that, and the meat is, like, really tender, and it just I don't
Mm.
know, to me,
It's
I
good.
prefer it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so we make it with that, but it's a rice dish as well. It doesn't have, like, yogurt or anything like that, but it's almost like, it's almost like if pho met rice.
Mm.
So I know when you're making pho, like you essentially you have like a bone broth that
Mm-hmm.
you create and that like takes like hours, like almost like
Yeah.
a whole day basically. It's the same exact concept. So you're making like a bone broth and then you're soaking your rice in that broth to cook.
Mm.
So it should end up being like very, very fragrant and
Yeah.
then you like toss your meat in there and all that stuff and like so it's
Mm.
super yummy.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
sounds
probably
good.
like one of my favorite things to
Yeah.
have, but it feels like a special occasion dish. Like I won't eat that
Yeah.
like if someone were to offer me like every day to eat that. David's like asked me that before. He's like if you could eat something like every day, what would it be? And it's always a basic answer because in
Yeah.
my head I'm like I want the special meals to feel special,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um but yeah, that's like we have
Yeah.
like something I think kind of probably a little similar in that
Yeah.
sense of like being a rice and meat dish.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and I wanted to try to make that too.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
should do it. I believe in us. We're gonna do
It's
it.
gonna be great. We're gonna do it and it's gonna be wonderful.
I
I'll
hope so.
just call you crying.
You wanna go get Thai
Yeah,
food?
exactly. I'm gonna be like, I just gave up and like went and got pho instead.
Yeah. But yeah, I do love like the traditional meals that people
Yeah.
kind of only eat
Yeah.
for special occasions
Yeah.
and the
100%.
desserts.
I was just thinking about
Yeah,
that too.
the
What do
desserts
you
are
have?
so good. Um, for Christmas we do knafe. So
I
it's
remember
like
that.
yeah,
That was so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love knafe.
I actually like really loved that.
I want to I've made it before and I want to make it again this year.
Okay.
I think the one you had was store bought.
I think so.
I think my mom had brought it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sure I'm gonna make it.
Mm.
And then like they're called grebe. They're
Mhm.
these types of like cookies.
Mhm.
They're kind of like sugar cookies.
Oh, okay.
But like you make them into like certain shapes. Like I don't know why, but I don't know. They're really good too, and like something that you
Yeah.
only eat like Christmas or Easter.
Mm, that's cool.
But yeah. What about your guys' desserts?
We have one I cannot remember the life of me the name of. I'm trying to like think of it right now. But there's like a Indian snack. It's called like namak para and shakar para. So one is like a salty version and
Mm,
one is the sugar version. So
mm,
it is kind of like a almost like a sugar cookie, same as
yeah.
you guys. But they're usually like in cute shapes. So like
Yeah.
it's like in diamond shapes and stuff.
Yeah, or S's. Our cookies are like
Yeah.
diamond shapes or S's.
Yeah, and so I kinda wanna do that, but I wanna make them like like candy canes or something like
That's
that.
cute. Yeah.
Just a cute little variation of it, I
Yeah.
think would be really, like, fun.
Yeah.
But there's that, and then I cannot remember at all the name of the one that I'm thinking of, but it's almost like a puff pastry,
Mm,
and it's got like really good like filling in it. It's
mm.
like a drier dessert, but like the inside will have like coconut and like just all these different things. It's like so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Now I'm
Yeah.
hungry.
I know, me too.
All of this
I was
food
thinking the
sounds
same thing.
very
Yeah.
good.
I'm like, ooh, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, those are ours. And it's
Yeah.
like it is the thing that you look forward to. You
Yeah.
think about it, you're like, ugh, like that
Yeah.
sounds so good.
Yeah. And I
And for
can't
us,
wait.
like we have it like with chai,
I love your chai.
Thank you.
So good too. I remember the first time you made me chai. I
Yeah.
was like, what is this? It's like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Yeah. It's a good classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very yummy. I think, is there any other traditions?
I don't think so on our end, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm sure there are, but
Yeah.
there's just nothing that's necessarily sticking out to
Yeah.
me at the moment. But
Yeah.
like I feel like I don't know, that puts me like in a good
Yeah.
mood. Like I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm already kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
okay. I was actually going to ask you this because I want to do this. I want to incorporate more of David's culture. I think like
Mm.
I mean, like I am my own culture. So
Yeah.
like I love my culture and want to have more of it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think like in our marriage, like I definitely wouldn't say like I ignore his culture, but like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. It's
I
hard when you don't know, like, necessarily their
Yeah,
traditions or stuff like
yeah.
that.
And I also just think like there's a lot I'm sure you can probably relate to this, but because I'm not necessarily as involved
Mm-hmm.
anymore in my own, I crave it. Like I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
miss it and there's like nostalgia there.
Yeah.
And so like I think that's why like I really try to like pull it all in, but
Yeah.
this year I was like thinking like how can I incorporate a little more of his too
Yeah.
during the holidays. So I wonder if like that's something that you're trying to do. Like I know that necessarily he probably doesn't have any like cultural things that he does, but just if there's like
Yeah.
anything traditionally that he would have done in the past, if you're trying to like harken back to that a little bit or not really.
That's such a sweet thought, actually, to like be mindful of that. So thank you for that reminder,
Yeah.
because I don't feel like I've thought about it.
Yeah.
But also, Sean is not someone that like,
Not like that sentimental.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like hard to like pull
Yeah.
things out of him. Um, but I should ask him because I've
Yeah.
never thought to ask him.
Yeah. It's funny because I honestly would say that David is not that crazy, like sentimental necessarily either, if I were to talk to him about it. But just in my head, I'm like, we're
Yeah,
a blended family. It would be cool
yeah,
to
yeah,
just think more
yeah,
on that end too of like,
yeah,
what can I do to make it really feel that way?
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I think that's super sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that. I'm gonna go home and be like, I'm so sorry, Sean.
No, you're good.
No, no, no,
I'm
no.
sure like
Yeah,
on Sean's end it's exciting for him to like, you
yeah,
know, incorporate more of yours or just learn or
yeah,
feel more attached to like a new culture.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know your guys' like traditions.
Yeah, please.
Um, I really. Oh, you know what's something that I really also want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not. We've talked about this. I'm not
Hmm.
like a super big like movie theater person.
Yeah. Same.
Um, and so I don't know. Like, I'd rather watch the movie when it comes out in my home.
Same.
Um, but I've been taking like this year Noelle to, like, we've done a couple movies this year in the theater,
Hmm.
and I gotta say, like, it's so like, it's been so special to like take her to the movie theater and like
Mm.
watch a movie that
Yeah.
she's super hype about. And so I was telling Sean the other day, I was like, we should do something like that, like during Christmas time, like because there's always Christmas movies that come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be fun to like go to the theater. I don't know, like when they do like midday showings, because the
Yeah.
kids in the movies at night is just
Yeah, I'm
it's a
sure.
nightmare. But and just do like, I don't know, like a Christmas movie and like make a day out of it. Like, I
I
don't know,
love
go in
that.
your pajamas and like
Yeah.
watch a Christmas movie. I think that would also be like a fun
That's so cute.
like tradition that like I
Yeah.
never thought I would care for, but now I'm
Yeah.
like, we should do it.
Yeah. I can see how having a child of your own and creating that sort of tradition with them or that
Yeah.
memory with them can change your perspective on how you feel about
Yeah.
it. Because like that makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
think for David, like he's a big movie guy, right?
Yeah.
But that's I think because that's something that they would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our
Yeah.
family never did it, so
Yeah.
I don't care much for it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that if I started doing that, that it would change my perspective and make it
Yeah.
something that like I look forward to and enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like fun, and she gets so big-eyed when she gets to, like, pick out
Yeah.
her candy or her
Oh,
popcorn.
that's so
And I'm
cute.
like, it's
And
just
that
so
makes sense,
cute.
like such a big screen. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she, like, feels like it's, like, an experience.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that.
but yeah, it's a fun one.
I love that. That's actually very cool.
Yeah. Um,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Thanks, guys, for
Yeah.
listening.
Please let us know your traditions. Let us know if there's anything like food wise that you're
Mm,
like, oh, this is good.
yeah,
If you guys know anything about either of our cultures and you're
yeah.
like, this is like a food that you forgot to mention, or
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
We're
that would be
sorry.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't say it in a hating way. But
Um,
yeah, like if there's
yeah.
anything that you're like, oh, yeah, like this is cool too. Have you had that? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, mention yours. Like, I would
Yeah.
love to hear it. But yeah, other than that, like I hope you guys are having a good time
Yeah.
enjoying this month, enjoying this season. I hope it's fun.
Yeah.
I hope you get to be with family a lot and just
Yes.
make good memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.